As a professional hunter, I've faced wild boars across the globe. From the icy forests of Scandinavia to the jungles of Southeast Asia, these animals have tested my skills in ways few others can. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to autumn in Europe. Beneath golden forest canopies, massive boars roam like ghosts of an older age, tearing through farmland and pushing local farmers to the edge of despair. Their tusks glint in the fading light, their bodies armored with thick hides, and their movements are swift and unpredictable. This isn't sport. This is necessity. Wild boars aren't just a nuisance. They're wrecking entire harvests and jeopardizing livelihoods that have been handed down for generations. It's no wonder that more and more regions now rely on strategic hunts not only to protect food supplies, but to safeguard rural life itself. We hit the forest at dawn, the air sharp with the scent of pine and damp earth. Our gear was packed to perfection, every strap tightened, every magazine checked. Less than an hour into the setup, the silence broke. Movement flickered in the underbrush, and then, like a storm unleashed, a group of wild boars burst through the thickets. Startled, fast, and massive. These weren't your average pigs. These were beasts hardened by winter, covered in shaggy coats with tusks curved like scythes. Creatures that looked like they had clawed their way out of some nightmare. I steadied my breathing, raised the scope, and squeezed. The forest echoed with the crack of the rifle, and one boar collapsed, crashing through leaves and sending golden foliage raining down. But this wasn't easy work. Not every shot landed clean. These animals are notoriously tough lightning fast, using every ridge, ditch, and shadow to their advantage. Every second demanded razor-sharp focus, and one lapse could mean a missed shot or worse, a charge. The dogs were already on the chase, their barks echoing as they tracked a runner darting through the trees. I spotted the boar weaving in and out of cover, desperate to escape. One clean shot dropped it before it could vanish over the ridge. More followed. Within minutes, it became clear this forest wasn't just populated, it was overrun. No wonder farmers had been calling in desperate pleas for help. When food runs low in the woods, boars raid the farms, and the destruction they cause is catastrophic. Entire acres can be lost in a single night. As we pushed deeper into the timber, another boar broke cover, weaving through undergrowth. It didn't offer a clean shot right away, but patience is everything in a hunt like this. I tracked its pace, waited for the window, and when the moment came, I took it. The shot rang true. Gunfire rippled in the distance as other hunters engaged their targets. This wasn't a handful of pigs. This was an infestation. Every few steps, a new silhouette emerged. Testing our reflexes and discipline. The adrenaline was pumping, but so was the responsibility. These weren't trophies, they were threats. We were riding high on momentum, but I never lost sight of the bigger picture. Hunting isn't just about excitement, it's about responsibility. Each shot taken was one less predator tearing through crops, one less danger lurking at the farm's edge. These were massive animals with thick hides, tusks like weapons, and minds sharp enough to outwit traps. But against skilled hunters, they had finally met their match. By this point, I had dropped several targets. The forest was alive with chaos barking hounds, leaves crunching under hooves, gunshots cracking and echoing. Every sound built into a crescendo of controlled warfare against an invasive force. Reloading quickly, I braced for more. These hunts demand respect. Lose focus, and you risk a missed shot or worse. A wounded boar charging headlong. But for all the danger, there's also perspective. Standing among the chaos, I thought about the farmers who woke up to fields stripped bare, the families who depended on those crops, and the endless cycle of planting, tending, and hoping nature would be kind. When the boars arrive, all that hope can vanish overnight. Wild boars are more than just a rural nuisance. They're a full-blown crisis. In the United States alone, they cause an estimated $2.5 billion in damage annually, with Texas being one of the hardest hit states. A single night raid can reduce a farmer's yield by half, leaving behind fields that look more like battle zones than farmland. And the destruction isn't just physical. It's financial, emotional, generational. One farmer I met in Central Texas told me how his family nearly lost their land after feral hogs destroyed their cornfields 3 years in a row. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "You don't just lose crops. You lose sleep, you lose money, and eventually you lose hope." Across Europe, Asia, and even parts of South America, the story repeats itself. The wild boar adapts, multiplies, and spreads. Traps and fences slow them down, but rarely stop them.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.